3, 2, 1.
Welcome to Hoops R Us, the best podcast ever.
Hey guys, welcome to Hoops R Us. It's your host Xander, and there has been a bunch of drama going on in the NBA. Today I got my dad with me as always, and we have a lot of topics to talk about. We got the Lakers looking horrible. Curry is about to pass Ray Allen in threes, and the Raptors have a new vaccine rule. And I have to give you the experience I've been having lately with my AAU team. So stay tuned for an awesome episode of Hoops R Us.
And we are back.
Yep.
Wow. It's been like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It's been a long couple of weeks since our last episode, but you've been a little busy.
Well, I've been busy with my new AAU team, actually. I've been practicing for my basketball games recently, and I'm just putting in the work.
That's it. I mean, so what's interesting is last episode, we provided a quick update to the audience regarding your middle school tryouts and your AAU tryouts. Obviously, middle school didn't go as planned, but to your kudos to you, you made it to the final cut of a combination of 7th and 8th grade basketball team. So 8th graders are going for it, 7th graders are going for it, and you made it to the final cut. So
yeah,
that's the glimmer of light that happened there. So congratulations on that, although you didn't make that team.
Yeah.
But everything happens for a reason. And now you did make it to an AAU basketball team known as Faith and Grind.
Mm-hmm.
And that's been exciting. So
oh yeah,
you've had, 3 games now? How's it been? What's your personal experience been with AAU travel basketball circuit? How's that going?
Well, the first 2 games, I was getting off to like a slow start. So it was pretty fun, the first 2 games, right? It was like, all right, this is pretty chill. And then the game that I had yesterday, wow. I had 11 points, 12 rebounds, 6 assists with like 2-3 steals. I went off last game. That was like the most fun game I've ever played.
That was exciting. It was obviously very fun watching you play.
My team won 47 to like 18. 19, something like that.
You guys are, you know what's interesting? You guys are dominating. That team is looking solid. You guys have a unstoppable, I mean, that press defense you guys have is suffocating.
Yeah, but you can't do it if it's like more than 20 points or something.
I mean,
like that.
well, that's a good problem to have. If
Yeah,
you guys are up by
guess.
20, I'm not too worried about not being able to press anymore. But
yeah, that's true.
you guys are off to a great start. Huge shout out to Coach Vaughn,
Coach Allen, yeah.
Alan Vaughn, right? That's your coach.
Vaughn Allen, I think.
Yeah, he's been doing a great job with you guys, and everybody's contributing. You guys had a really nice balanced stat sheet at the end of the game.
Yeah.
And I think you guys are starting to get to know how to play with each other, which is really important. But more importantly, I think the whole AAU circuit is intimidating for a lot of parents, and rightly so, because AAU is kind of the main basketball place that people know about when it comes to kind of a more advanced level of basketball.
True.
And it can be scary. This is our first AAU experience, and I must say, we're having a really good experience. It doesn't feel intimidating. You know, as a parent, it doesn't feel like my son is out of his league. He's learning a lot, so it's been fun. But what's been your perspective, combining practices, combining the games, the tempo, all that stuff?
I think I've had a great experience with this team because it's just fun, you know? It feels like I'm back at the basketball action again. And
Haven't played in 2 years.
Yeah, I haven't played in like 2 years, so I'm excited just to get into basketball game in general. So yeah.
Yeah, you're also, I mean, one of the good advantages too is that you're much stronger than you were when you were playing basketball 2 years ago. You're much faster. So your body has definitely taken shape, and it's helped you kind of keep up the pace of the game. I mean, how's that been? Because I feel like you guys are fast breaking every possession.
Yeah, I mean, last game I played like every minute, actually.
Yeah, you pulled an Ironman.
Like, I was so exhausted, though. And I guess because I haven't, like, it's been a while since I've gone up and down the court, playing the basketball game and stuff. I've been used to, like, baseball speed and stuff like that. Now I have to turn to basketball speed, so, yeah.
It's definitely a lot more exhausting, but you know what? You hung in there and you were making plays. So
Yeah.
it's good that, like I said, that you've been kind of working out these last 2 years and being just physically active a lot.
But I would say basketball is, like, it's up there in my list as the most fun sport to play.
I think it's the most fun sport you've played because it's so fast paced. I mean, you're good at baseball, you're good at football, but in basketball, you're so passionate and it's so just back and forth. If you miss a shot, you get another chance to take another shot. In baseball, you kind of got to wait, till everybody bats, or you got to wait for somebody to hit the ball to you.
Yeah.
So the pace of it is definitely very different, and I think it seems to me, at least, that you're having the most fun playing basketball.
I mean, if you see it from that perspective, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, so definitely so far so good. Like I said, Sanders had a great experience, so huge shout out to Faith and Grind. He's doing a great job out there. It's a great organization ran by Coach Mike. So
Coach Mike.
Huge shout out to them. They're doing a really good job, and the kids are having a blast. All right, so let's talk some NBA.
Yeah.
What do we got going on there?
Well, let's hit on this because, let's just hit it on. Zach Randolph got his jersey number retired by Memphis Grizzlies.
Bullies get bullied. Have you ever heard that saying?
No, I haven't, but I know he was a bully. I know that for sure.
I forgot who he said that to, but for some reason that's like
the
phrase.
DeMarcus Cousins. I remember that. He said that to
go.
DeMarcus Cousins.
Yeah, so DeMarcus was being a tough guy, and he was like, where I'm from, bullies get bullied.
Yo, that was like back when the NBA was not that soft as it is right now.
I mean, hey, there's still a lot of chirping. I saw Kevin Durant hugging and I mean halfway. I don't know what you want to call that to Trae Young.
Trae Young, he was chirping at him.
Chirping, hugging, massaging him. I don't know what you want to call that.
Here's the thing, though, like
probably illegal in some states.
Yeah, like Kevin Durant, he just said it was just a little chit chat. I've known the kid for like 10 years. Or
no, I've known him since he was
10. 10 years old. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's all good. It's all good. But
yeah, he shout out to Zach Randolph. That's good for him.
Yeah, Zach Randolph was a huge impact for the Memphis Grizzlies. Actually, back when Mark Gasol and Mike Conley led the team to like victories and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was the backbone. He was a defensive guy, and he was tough down low.
He was like a power forward Patrick Beverly, except just better. I feel like probably on the offensive side. KD got fined, I heard.
Yeah, he had
got
some colorful words to say to some fans.
Colorful words. I mean, of course, KD has been getting to a lot of like curse words, so like to like fans and stuff. Like, remember the message someone sent him that he's trash or something? Then he said "F you" or something. Like,
he is.
KD is so soft.
Yeah,
Charles, KD is soft. Just so you know. If you hear
he wears his emotions on his sleeves, so KD just has very little filter when it comes to anybody like going after his feelings and whatnot. He listens, to say the least.
I mean, I think he's trying to say I'm defending myself, but it's more of like you're just being childish.
This is true. But that said, I mean, the Nets are looking good again, right? The Nets are still solid.
Yeah, I guess. But with Kyrie, they would be better right now.
At this point, I don't know about that. I think Kyrie would just be more of a distraction. Kyrie has been... They really haven't ever adjusted to having the big three in that lineup. How many games have they ever even played together?
Like 4.
Exactly. So what are they really missing?
At least 4. Like, it was...
They'd have to like start from scratch to get used to each other because, I mean, Harden and Durant are now learning how to play with each other.
Yeah.
So,
but now Kyrie and Durant and Kyrie and Harden have to get used to playing with each other.
That's just difficult. That's difficult. But you know what? Like I said, the Nets are looking good.
Just because Kyrie's such a problem, though. Like, how can you figure him out? What do you give him in order for him to,
Can't
play?
give him anything. It's something that you can't even provide. So
yeah, the vaccine, right? He has to get in order to come back and play.
Yeah, which he won't take.
He's not even injured right now. It's crazy though. Kyrie's such a big problem.
But either way, you know what? They're on top of the standings, and they're doing what they got to do.
Yeah. So I want to talk about the Blazers. So they recently rejected the 76ers for like any trade talks with Dame. Because
I don't blame them.
I think I saw something that said Dame wanted to play with Ben Simmons, though.
Maybe, but at this point now, McCollum, I mean, let's provide this update too. He had a collapsed lung.
Oh, yeah, I feel bad. Yeah, I can't imagine that. Collapsed lung?
That's a really unique injury, but obviously a huge health issue.
Yeah, that's a health.
And not only that, if
people retire because of that, actually, like
put it
because
this
of
way,
health issues.
If the Portland Trailblazers were thinking of creating a package that included McCollum to the 76ers, which I think would have been a great trade.
But McCollum to like trade for Ben Simmons,
yeah,
and some draft picks,
probably. But now with McCollum out, there goes that trade.
Yeah, that's true. And once again, I think Dame wanted to play bench, so they were gonna think about that trade.
I don't know. I mean, for what? I think Dame. I mean, I don't know.
Because Dame and CJ had been together too long,
and
up to the point where they're not gonna turn to a Giannis and a Middleton story.
Yeah, but they're
because I think it's too late.
I thought they got along great though. So
they do. They don't, but they do. It's like a Michael Jordan and a Pippen relationship. I mean, Pippen puts too much disrespect.
Of all, if we're putting Dame Lillard and CJ McCollum in a sentence with MJ and Pippen.
No, not like as a great, but like, as a relationship.
As far as chemistry?
Yeah, as far as chemistry.
I don't know. Listen, at the end of the day, they're just not talented enough. And I think Portland is starting to panic because Dame Lillard is like a superstar that's not getting any younger. What is he, like 31?
Yeah, Dame Lillard's like 31, 32, somewhere there. Yeah, but I don't know. Like, they're not going to win a championship. They can't turn into Giannis. Because the thing is, one, they're in the West, the toughest conference, by hands down. Two, like, Giannis and the Bucks, like, they always at least would make the playoffs. Giannis and Middleton keep making it to the conference finals.
Portland keeps making the playoffs.
They make the playoff, but, like, you're expected to see them out of here, like, in the semifinals or the first round.
I think Portland should not trade Dame no matter what. Hold
Why?
on to him and try to figure it. What are you going
to do with Dame anymore?
What are you going to do without him? Turn into some team that's waiting another 10, 20 years for another Dame?
At this point, yeah, because Dame ain't going to win the chip there.
Which, by the way, and I hate to kind of flip-flop, but let's turn our quick attention over to the Pelicans. Your boy Zion Williamson looks like he is like the next coming story of Greg Oden.
No.
How about that?
Don't do that, because Greg Oden can't average 18 points somewhere.
Listen, Greg Oden wasn't Greg Oden the first pick for the second?
Yeah, he was the first, but
he was the first pick with a lot of hype.
But the thing is, Greg Oden, like his rookie season, didn't make impressions. As soon as Zion got off that injury list in the rookie season, he went off.
I don't think Greg Oden even played his rookie season like that.
Exactly. He didn't, actually.
So that's what I'm
saying. Zion
like,
did, though. So Zion's not going to turn into him.
Listen, but Zion, he's got a weird body. And what I mean by that is he's
fat.
Not only is he fat, but he's ridiculously athletic for a guy that's
a power forward.
Too big. You got to be a lot more slim and slender to be able to pull off some of the stuff that he does. So he puts a lot of strain on his body, and now he just had surgery, and his foot is still swollen. It's not looking good. I don't think he's going to play this season.
Yeah, I think he is, though, because we have a lot of games coming, and Zion, he might come back. He might come back this month if things go like really well, but they're not. So I know when he's gonna come back.
All right. Well,
speaking of injuries, I'm gonna just hit on my guy Klay Thompson.
Klay Thompson, watch.
He's been looking pretty good in the Santa Cruz Warriors, the G League team. He's not playing there, but he's doing like rehab and stuff, right? So I think Klay Thompson is gonna come back. Actually, like guaranteed come back.
Wasn't he supposed to be back before Christmas?
The week of Christmas.
Oh, you guys are gonna get a nice little Christmas gift.
Exactly, and then chips come. Then
getting a little ahead of yourself.
Okay, fine, but look at our record and look at the Lakers' record.
Why are you comparing you to the Lakers? Focus
the Lakers are
on
like
the Phoenix Suns. That's who you need to focus on.
Okay, we beat them once, they beat us once. Here we go.
Listen, I'm not gonna lie though, that was a big win because for you guys to beat them then without
But they didn't have Devin Booker,
and you guys don't have
Clay.
Exactly. So
every loss we can make that excuse though that we don't have Clay Thompson.
Right. I mean, I think what. Hold on, actually, before we move off from the G League conversation, did you see Jello Ball?
Yeah. Jello Ball is in the G League now, right?
Yeah, he's in the
Came
Swarm.
back.
He's in the Hornets G League.
He got like 14 points, I want to say.
In 6 games, he hasn't even been played. They've been playing him like such short minutes, and suddenly they gave him some time to play, and he killed it.
He can produce. He's a ball brother.
You know
all
what's
of the Ball
interesting?
brothers.
I really thought he was not good at all. Like I didn't get the same vibe that I saw from like Lonzo or LaMelo.
Because Lonzo and like LaMelo, they get all the attention. He's the middle child. He's supposed to come out of nowhere. That's gonna be his like job and stuff.
I think he's in a position where he has to realize, not that I'm gonna be the next superstar, and he's got to drop that ego a little bit. But if he looks at the path that Seth Curry had, Seth went to the G League too, and Seth came out of Duke, and he was hyped. He was
hyped, huh?
He was a lottery pick. Wasn't he like a top 10?
He didn't get drafted.
Seth Curry did not get drafted?
No.
No way.
He wasn't that good. He was in Duke with Kyrie. You expect Kyrie to pass?
I remember
in college.
with Rivers. I'm confusing him with the Rivers kid.
Rivers,
yeah.
But he did went to Duke though, Seth Curry.
No, I know. But he didn't get drafted?
Nope, undrafted in 2013. He had to go to the Santa Cruz Warriors.
Wow.
He actually played one game, though, with the Golden State Warriors, with Curry.
Well, either way, I think the point's still valid. So Seth Curry has traveled through the G League. He's become a premier three-point shooter. He's become a scorer off the bench. And he's created himself a pretty solid NBA career right now. He's on track to be a solid role player. So if
role player, I think he's a solid starter, not for nothing. Without this Ben Simmons, he's a good kind of backup to him because Ben Simmons plays point guard. Seth Curry plays point guard or shooting guard. And Seth is averaging 18 a game.
That's amazing. I'll be honest with you. First of all, to be on the shadow of your big brother who's like a god.
Yeah, sir.
And to still be able to find your footing in this league, which is extremely difficult. It doesn't matter that you could be anybody's brother. Listen, if there's not a spot for you in that 12-man roster, they're not going to take you. So I think Jello's going through that in the G League, and he's been very impressive. I don't know if it's real. I don't know if the G League is easier. I don't know if he's...
It is, but it's not, but it is.
He's been... Every time he's played significant time, he's been impressive in the G League. That's what I got to say. Just our Ball brothers watch.
I just think he's a little too immature.
Let's see. Maybe he's maturing.
Let's think about this. One, he has some off-court problems here and there.
Yeah, we remember what he did in college, yeah.
Yeah, right? I don't think teams can trust him because...
He's got money already.
He got money already. He probably already got Tesla. Not even... I wouldn't be shocked. And his ego's a little too much. I mean...
I think his father's ego's a little too much. So I think, unfortunately...
Here's the thing, though. LeVar Ball his ego is the reason why his two little sons named Lonzo Ball and LaMelo Ball are succeeding. Because
is it because of his ego, or is it because he helped train them and he put in the work with them? But
both.
If you can tolerate...
What do you mean by ego, though, of LeVar?
LeVar is just a mouth. First of all, let's put aside what he did to get his kids there, right? So he probably got them into basketball academies, trainings. He raised them to be... He invested in his kids. Kudos for that. Father to father. I think that's incredible. That being said, you can tolerate the crazy dad and the dad that's all over the media and trying to get clicks and stuff. You can tolerate that when the guy you're talking about is LaMelo Ball or Lonzo Ball.
But if your son is LaMelo Ball or Lonzo Ball, how can you not have a mouth like that?
Time out. Have you heard...
They are so popular.
What's your point? Have you heard Steph Curry's dad mouthing off and being on the Stephen A. show and talking and making all these crazy
Stephen
guarantees?
Curry's dad have two sons that might be all-stars this season?
Yes.
No way. Oh my.
You just said it. Yes, you just said that. I mean, Lonzo
I said
and
that
Seth
he's
Curry.
averaging just 18.
So what? Lonzo and Seth Curry are not that far off from skill sets in terms of their contributions. But still, the point is, he's the only dad that has like a crazy mouthpiece on him. So you can tolerate that when the kids are pretty good. But with Jello, who's not that good, at least not yet, then people may not want to deal with the drama, you know?
Is he talking about like Jello though? Is he? Jello's the only kid
I think
that LeVar doesn't mouth on that much.
Well, because he's not at his games to get interviewed and whatnot. He's only at the other two games, but I'm pretty sure if you put a microphone in front of him, he will talk.
Yeah, but I don't know. LeVar Ball has always been like that. Yo, he just
Yeah, actually, I have a funny comment.
He said that LaMelo doesn't get advice to Michael Jordan
because he's talking about a mouthpiece.
Because Michael Jordan, because he hasn't won a ring since
20 years or
20
whatever.
years. Yeah.
You see what I mean? LeVar has got a mouthpiece on him.
You just talked about the GOAT right there. Like, you gotta chill at that point.
Something funny that Del Curry said. So you know how LeVar Ball has a hat that says,
"Oh yeah, I saw
this."
So. Yeah, and then Del Curry was like, "I didn't know," or something like that.
He said, "My hat would have said I had no idea."
Yeah, to Stephen Curry, right? Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, but Stephen Curry, like, I think ever since he was a kid, he looked better than Seth.
I
like
guess.
After those interviews with Dell and stuff, he was making half-court shots in the Raptors court.
I don't know, because ultimately Stephen Curry went to Davidson while Seth Curry went to Duke. I don't know if Seth Curry got to Duke because Stephen had already been successful.
Yeah.
My timelines may be off.
Well, it's not, because Seth Curry got drafted, 2013? 2012, Curry was dealing with, like, injuries and stuff. So he wasn't good yet.
So then that being said, who was the better high school player? Maybe it was Seth. He went to a better college.
Maybe it wasn't, though, because think about it.
I think the name. I think it was the name. I think at that point, Stephen had already gotten popular enough where he got drafted quick. Like, he was a lottery pick.
Stephen, no Duke wanted him because of his size.
Right.
Seth, I think because his brother just proved to all those colleges a small body can make that NBA, that maybe another small body, just like his brother, can make it too. So let's get him. Ever thought of it like that?
Well, I guess. I mean, you know what? So let's just quickly transition and let's talk about the God.
Oh, Stephen Curry.
The GOAT, the best player that ever walked
in the world
planet.
right now. In the world.
Right now, we are on record watch. So what is the latest?
Curry needs 7 more 3-pointers to pass Ray Allen. I think pass or tie one of them. And whoever he's playing, if it's a whack team, we all know he's trying to break the record.
I think he's been trying to break the record 3 games ago.
He's playing Indiana.
Steph Curry could go off against anybody. It could be a great team. It could be a crappy team.
Well, he's been like off to a little shaky lately.
Yeah, he's been choking a little like he usually does in big moments.
Oh, okay. I see. So we don't want to talk about your Lakers, who are doing trash.
All right, we'll talk about the Lakers, but let's finish with Curry. So Curry's on his way to being the best 3-point shooter ever. And Ray Allen made an interesting comment because Ray Allen was asked.
He said something like, "Depends on who you ask is the best shooter."
Yeah. So like, what does that mean?
For me, anybody who you ask, they ain't gonna say you, buddy, because you're not that guy anymore.
I think he's trying to throw in the clutch factor, which
Ray Allen is more clutch than Curry, if you think about it.
So then who is the best 3-point shooter? Is it the guy that took more threes, the guy that makes more threes, or the guy that scores more threes when it's necessary?
Well, look, Ray Allen is a clutch guy in general, though.
And a 3-point killer.
Yeah, but Curry's just a better 3-point killer. Add the clutch, add all these moments, he is the better 3-point shooter. Ray Allen is probably the better clutch player, and he doesn't have to go 3-point. He could probably hit it from mid-range or something. He's probably a clutch player, even more clutch than Steph, but Steph is a better 3-point shooter than Ray
Allen. I mean, listen, I'm not going to argue with you there. I agree. I think Steph Curry's the best 3-point shooter ever. I think he changed the game.
And Ray Allen.
And I just hope Ray Allen is not taking, that sour Gatorade.
I don't think so. Ray Allen doesn't have that personality. He doesn't have
I
an
don't
ego.
think so either. Right.
I
But
mean,
you know what? I think nobody likes to see their records broken. But hey, you never know.
no one likes to see the record. They could either be, some can be proud of it, technically. But some are, like, salty or, like, sour about it, like you just said. But, I don't know. Ray Allen's not, he's not the best three-point shooter. That if you ask anybody, it depends on who you ask.
No, I think you could ask anybody. It is what it is. So let's go ahead. Let's talk.
Wait. But who would you ask would say Ray Allen?
I don't know. I think the game has changed. So I think he's trying to sprinkle in some of that clutch factor, and he's trying to sprinkle in the fact that the game changed because now you're encouraged to take a bunch of threes, whereas before, only if you make them, you're allowed to take all those threes.
Okay.
So I think that's what he's trying to say. But hey,
Curry's about to pass him anyway, so we'll see there. We'll see there.
You think he'll pass him by today?
Today he doesn't have a game.
Oh, when do they play again?
Indiana, I think tomorrow. Do I think he's going to pass it?
You think he's going to hit 7 threes in one game? I don't see it. Not how he's been shooting lately.
I think he's going to hit 5 threes today. I mean, against the Pacers, and then the next game he'll break it for sure. I think the next 2 games he's actually guaranteed. Give it three games max. He's going to break the record, though. Can we all admit that he's definitely breaking the record? Unless an injury comes, he's breaking the record.
Even then, he'll come out in a wheelchair and just hit those threes.
Exactly.
All right, so let's do what you wanted.
Let's talk about the Lakers there.
Let's talk Lakers.
Right?
So the Lakers have been playing horrendous. They have like a 500 record.
My thing is, though, aren't they like just the 7th seed at least, though? It's still a playoff spot.
Yeah, I mean, but seeding doesn't matter as much, not this early on. I think after the All-Star break is where people start caring about seeding. What matters more is how does the team look? Like, can they win even the games that they're sloppy in? And with the Lakers right now, the answer is no. They can't even beat the Oklahoma City Thunder.
And the Oklahoma City Thunder lost by 73 points to a team that didn't even have their superstar.
That is crazy. Memphis blew them out by 70-plus points. That's crazy. That might be a record.
That is a record. It is a record.
That is insane. But
look, the
Lakers did have a big game. So right when they were like reeling, they had that game against the Celtics, and the big 3 delivered.
Oh, yeah.
All 3 of them had a big game that game. I think LeBron
had 30. Westbrook had 24, but Davis had like 7. Davis had 17 and 16 rebounds. So yeah,
great. He's the next Chris Bosh. Isn't that great?
Yeah, exactly. And then
it should be
Westbrook
the
is
other
like
way around.
D-Wade.
Yeah, but
huh?
Yeah, so.
Well, I think
points wise, like Anthony's supposed to be the best player in the Lakers right now.
I think he is already.
Is he?
Yeah.
You think Anthony Davis is the best player
let's not go with
in the
Stephen
Lakers?
Let's not go with Charles Barkley. Meanwhile, he's saying Davis is not delivering.
He's not. 17 points. It sounds like Chris Bosh.
He's averaging 24, 10, and 3.
It's not bad.
That's not bad.
But he should be the hands down best player on the Lakers, even like an MVP season type level. And he's not. He's like he's cruising.
But no one is. No one is though.
Oh yeah, so Steph Curry's not playing.
No,
lights
I
out
meant
right
on
now?
the Lakers.
Well, that's the point. It should be him. He's the best player on the Lakers, but it still looks like it's LeBron.
No, I think LeBron has gotten injured too much, and now it's not him anymore.
So right now, you're telling me the best player in the Lakers is not LeBron James?
Yep.
Who is it?
Anthony Davis.
I don't know.
Westbrook is inconsistent.
Of course not.
So it's not Westbrook.
I don't consider Anthony Davis. He's not. He hasn't impressed me this year. But to his credit, a part of that might be that he's not trying to go long minutes and trying to go crazy because he's trying to be healthy for the playoffs, which is where he can definitely turn it up and drop 30-something points with like 15 rebounds. Mm-hmm. He's got the ability to do that. So if this is all a matter of pacing himself, I'm all for it.
And I think he's on the Lakers, Dad. He's not on the Pelicans anymore where he could average 28 and 10. He's not on a team that needs him to score 28 and 10 anymore. He has Westbrook who could have a triple-double, or he has LeBron who can score 36, his age. He can score 36 points.
36.
He's 36, right? And Davis could just do his job being a rebounder because he didn't do much of that in the bubble, if you think about it.
That's true. He was struggling with the rebounding.
Yeah, like he averaged 7.9 rebounds compared to his previous seasons where he usually averages like 10, 11, 12, 10. So, yeah, I think AD is the best player, though, still.
You know what's interesting? So when they were playing the Celtics, there was a little, who are the best Celtics versus who are the best Lakers?
Oh.
That's an interesting debate. Like, let's go kind of position by position.
So where did I see that post?
I don't even think you got to go position by position, but...
Well, okay. So they based it off, that little thing, they based it off of decades. So in the 60s, it was like...
Wilt Chamberlain versus Russell?
West. I like West more versus Russell because I think West was mostly in the Lakers than Wilt Chamberlain. Although Wilt was really dominant, I think it's West versus Bill Russell, not Wilt Chamberlain versus Bill Russell, because mostly in the finals it was Jerry West versus Bill Russell.
Makes sense. But didn't Russell win all of those?
Well, look, and Wilt didn't beat Russell either. But look, Wilt versus Bill Russell, like when Wilt was on the Lakers, it was Bill Russell's last season. They made the championship, both teams. The Celtics won. Jerry West still got the finals MVP.
That's what should have happened when they gave the MVP to Andre Iguodala.
He did nothing. He should have gave it to Curry.
They should have given it to easily. Curry also did nothing.
Yes, he did.
They should have given it to LeBron.
He averaged like 27.
He averaged a bunch of choke jobs all series long. Like, he was not recognized as the most valuable player in the championship of the Warriors.
But I don't think now in the NBA, because think about it, that's in the 60s where people sometimes make up stories as well. Like,
no, I'm with you.
Where's the cameras at when
let's
Wilt
get more to the
100?
closer times. So now let's get into the 90s.
So, well, hold up. 60s? Well, 60s is Wilt. Well, no, Bill Russell versus West, right?
Who's 70s?
I don't know.
Exactly. Let's go to the 90s.
80s. Hello, 80s. Who's Magic and Bird? Who was that?
I thought that was 90s. No, you're right. 80s.
That was 80s. 90s, right. You guys had Shaq.
Fine. Bird versus Magic.
That's really good.
Who you taking?
Oh, and the 1v1? Shoot. Bird. Bird can score better. And it's a 1v1. You don't pass Magic, so it's Bird.
I agree. But then who's the better overall player? 5 versus 5.
Magic.
I think I still go Bird.
Bird? That's so...
You know what? Maybe not. I mean,
I
mean, Magic is considered one of the best point guards ever. I don't know.
He might be the best point guard of all time.
Maybe I do go Magic. But Bird was a killer, man.
Bird shot. He did a game where he only shot with his left hand, and he's dropped 30.
You should try that. Try shooting with just your right hand.
Yeah, okay. I'll do that with right hand layups, but not. I can't do that with a jump. How can you just switch hands and look comfortable just shooting with your left?
I bet he didn't shoot any threes that game.
He did.
No
I think
way.
he did. Yes, he did. He shot for sure with his left hand because that was the whole point of his little trash talk he had. So Larry Bird was
making up stories. Who knows, right?
Yeah, that's true. Larry Bird was a killer, though.
Okay, so then we move on to the 90s.
Who?
I don't know who the Celtics had. Paul Pierce?
No, that's 2000s
Kobe
versus Paul Pierce.
Okay.
Wait. So, if you really want me to guess, 70s is like Kareem versus John Havlicek. 90s was, I would give that to Shaq and Antoine Walker.
Well, there you go. Paul Pierce, Antoine Walker, Shaq. Definitely the Lakers.
Yeah, but that's like saying Tatum and LeBron. That's more of like, okay, it's definitely LeBron, and here it's like, it's definitely Shaq. It's not.
I think in the 90s in general, the Celtics weren't doing nothing. So
the Lakers either.
They won in the late 90s.
No, that's 2000s. They didn't even win a single championship.
But even if they didn't win, by 96 when it was Kobe and Shaq, they were already making playoffs and looking pretty good.
Technically, that's mostly, let's blame it on Michael Jordan because he mostly stole.
Listen, Michael Jordan stole the 90s. Let's just face it.
So I think Lakers and Celtics, Shaq and Antoine Walker.
All right, so we go into the 2000s. First of all, Paul Pierce versus Kobe. What are we doing? What are we doing here?
The only reason why that makes sense.
Oh, please.
I know it's Kobe. I know. It's definitely Kobe, yeah. But makes sense because Paul Pierce and Kobe looked at each other in the finals 2 times. And meanwhile, Shaq and Antoine Walker is definitely Shaq, but it's not like they met each other in the playoffs or in the finals.
Okay, I'll give it to them. But when Kobe faced Paul Pierce had Ray Allen and Kevin Garnett against Kobe and the Band of Misfits. Well, he had Paul Gasol. And
Paul Gasol, you're going to call him a misfit?
Well, that's one person. Who else we had?
Ron Artest.
Ron Artest wasn't there yet, buddy.
He was.
Not in the first championship. He wasn't there yet.
Lamar Odom.
I think we had Lamar, yeah.
You guys did.
Okay.
Lamar Odom.
Really?
But they were so old. They weren't a super team per se.
No, they were a super team. It was still the big three. It was at the tail end of their career, yes, but they were still they were not LeBron, Wade, and Bosh, but they were definitely, good enough to still make an impact.
Exactly. So definitely Kobe, right?
Listen, it's the Lakers, let's face it.
Yeah, that's true.
And then you got LeBron now in the Lakers, and
how about the 2010
Tatum?
decades?
Who's that? Yeah, that's LeBron.
I guess. Yuck.
And Tatum and those guys. So, come on.
Either LeBron or Tatum or Kobe and, Isaiah Thomas.
Exactly. So, I think that's
probably
a poor
Kobe and
comparison.
Isaiah Thomas.
Nah, stop it.
Yeah.
Stop it. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, the Celtics do have a lot of championships. I'll give you that much. But
You guys have more?
it feels like we have more superstars, as crazy as that sounds.
You guys did, I think. And, yeah, I think the Lakers were more dominant in the NBA than the Celtics. And now they have more rings.
I completely agree.
Yeah. So, well, let me just say this real quick. Giannis has the most blocks for the Bucks franchise, I heard. He got that. Right?
He's gonna break every record the Bucks have ever had in their lives.
Exactly. Giannis is the most dominant player in the Bucks.
Ever. And
Ever.
Unless Kareem Abdul-Jabbar would not have left the Bucks, but because he left.
Because he left, you think? That's why?
He left to the Lakers, yeah.
But he was still
a
crazy.
beast, but if the freak stays in that team, he's going to be the best player that has
He
ever
might
touched
not,
that
though,
team.
because he did make an announcement saying that he won his championship. That's it. Now, he doesn't see himself with them in the future, per se. He doesn't.
Did not say that.
I think he said something like, in the end of my career or my last year, it might not be the Bucks.
Find me that quote. I can't picture him saying some craziness like that. He might have been joking around with his whole Oreo cookie stuff.
I mean, Giannis jokes a little too much, though. Have you ever dipped Oreos in milk, he said.
He says
what
strange
the
things.
heck?
Definitely says strange things.
All right, that's going to wrap it up for us. The Bucks played the Knicks today. They beat them 112-97. Giannis had a triple-double, 20 points, 10 rebounds, and 11 assists, dominating as always.
I think it's time that we bring in a Knicks super fan. Maybe we'll get Theo Javi back in here, Sato. But what's happening with the Knicks? I mean,
they suck.
They're back to just being the same old Knicks.
I don't think that. I think they're a good team still. They're just getting off to a slow start. But the thing is, with the Knicks, they can't get off to a slow start because last season was their first okay and good season. So
I still don't understand what went so terribly wrong with Kemba Walker. I mean, come on.
Why would you bench him though? I think
he's not even letting him play, and I think a comment from Tim Thibodeau, who's obviously a really good coach, was something along the lines of he doesn't bring a winning culture when he's on the floor. That's crazy.
That's stupid. I think Kemba Walker is such a great leader, but
New
New York Knicks. Think about this. It's hard to be a leader in that whack team. Look at Carmelo Anthony.
Well, here's the other piece. There's always something with the coach. Ever since he pulled Kemba Walker, he hasn't played in the last 6 games. 6 straight games he hasn't played. The Knicks are 1-5 in that span. And his replacement today, what was it? No, on Friday, he was 0 for 7 in 37 minutes. And then they had a blowout loss, or whatever it was, in a blowout game with the Pacers. He didn't even play him then. Dude.
I think he shows no value anymore to the Knicks.
But how? Is he that bad?
Yeah, he is. He's not the same Kemba anymore. And I think the Celtics ruined that because he got used to passing then. Kemba and the Hornets, he would drop 50, Dad. 50 points.
Yeah, he used to be that guy.
Now think about Kemba now dropping 50. It's like,
listen,
okay.
if Rose could do it, I think Kemba could do it.
Rose is dropping 50 now?
I'm just saying, Rose can drop 30.
True.
Like where did Rose find his fountain of youth? And it's because he's one of Tom Thibodeau's favorites. Like he's got to put the ego in the favorites.
Tom Thibodeau is not a great. I mean, here's with Tom Thibodeau.
Suddenly when he came in, the Knicks became relevant.
They became a playoff team. That is correct.
So then he likes Rose.
If that's the case, I think then Kemba Walker's just not good anymore.
I mean, he cannot be so bad that you can't use him as a backup to Rose if Rose is indeed your starter.
The Thunders let him go, Dad, as well. So what if he was on the Thunder?
Go?
Kemba, you remember in the
offseason?
He was supposed to play for the Thunders. Then they traded him to the Knicks for some draft picks or something.
What a time. That sucks. I feel bad for Kemba, but hey.
And with that, I want to give a shout out to Lennox Dolan, one of my best friends. Happy birthday, Lennox. He has been a special guest in this podcast for like at least 3 episodes.
That's right.
So shout out to Baseball Talk. That's his podcast. And yeah,
shout out to him. He also had a nice game on his birthday game.
Oh,
on the
yeah.
AAU
And
team.
the AAU game yesterday, he had like 8 points.
Yeah, I think he dropped like 9 points. A nice little crossover move with
Yeah.
a nice tough layup.
Yeah.
So shout out to the hitman, Lennox Dolan. Happy birthday, buddy.
All right, guys. Thank you all for listening to an awesome episode of Hoops R Us. See you next episode. Peace.
Peace.